Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we delve into the detailed account of Iwao Hakamada, a Japanese man who spent nearly half a century on death row for crimes he didn't commit. Join us as we explore his incredible journey to exoneration, which started in 1966. Back in the early hours of June 30th, 1966, a terrible fire tore through the home of a miso company's managing director in Shimizu City, Shizuoka Prefecture, and the house was completely destroyed. When the flames were finally put out, the bodies of the managing director, who was 41, his 38-year-old wife, their 17-year-old daughter, and 14-year-old son were found in the ruins. Sadly, they had been stabbed multiple times before the fire started. From the very beginning, the police zeroed in on Iwao Hakamada, a live-in employee at the miso factory who used to be a professional boxer. They were influenced by the stereotype that someone like him could do such a thing. On August 18th, they arrested Hakamada on suspicion of robbery, murder, and arson. At first, Hakamada firmly denied having anything to do with the crimes, but after enduring long and harsh interrogations by the police and prosecutors, sessions that involved torture, he confessed just before his detention period was up. Later on, during his trial, he took back his confession and insisted that he was innocent. After he was arrested, Hakamada faced non-stop questioning by the police in the hot summer weather. They grilled him day after day, even putting a toilet in the interrogation room so he couldn't leave to use the bathroom. Under this intense pressure, he finally confessed and was officially charged. Even after that, the tough interrogations continued, and Hakamada ended up writing as many as 45 different confession statements. During all this time, his lawyer was only able to meet with him for about 30 minutes in total. His confessions kept changing. At first, he said he committed the crime because he was having an affair with the managing director's wife. Later, he changed his story and said he did it because he needed money. There were also big problems with the evidence. The pajamas that were first thought to be the clothes worn during the crime had questionable bloodstains, and the police analysis was considered unreliable during the trial. Then, more than a year after the incident, new clothes supposedly linked to the crime were found inside a miso barrel at the factory. The prosecution switched their claim to this new set of clothes, which didn't match what Hakamada had described in his confessions. In the first trial, the Shizuoka District Court threw out 44 of his confession statements, accepting only one that the prosecution presented. They also decided that 5 pieces of clothing belonged to Hakamada and used this as key evidence to find him guilty. Despite always insisting he was innocent during his trial, on September 11, 1968, the Shizuoka District Court sentenced Hakamada to death. He appealed the decision, but the Tokyo High Court rejected his appeal on May 18, 1976. The Supreme Court upheld the death sentence, making it final on November 19, 1980. On April 20, 1981, Hakamada filed his first request for a retrial, but it was dismissed by the Supreme Court on March 24, 2008. Undeterred, his defense team filed a second request on April 25, 2008. They presented new evidence, including tests showing that the 5 pieces of clothing, supposedly soaked in miso and found a year after the crime, did not have Hakamada's DNA. In September 2010, the prosecution shared evidence for the first time, which the defense carefully examined. On March 27, 2014, the Shizuoka District Court agreed to start a retrial and suspended his death sentence and imprisonment. After spending 47 years and 7 months in prison, Hakamada was released that same day. Following his release, he spent 2 months in a Tokyo hospital to receive treatment for the psychological effects of his long confinement. On May 27, 2014, he returned to his hometown of Hamamatsu City for the first time in 48 years and began living with his sister after further treatment. Shortly after, on April 6, 2014, the World Boxing Council, WBC, presented him with an honorary champion belt at an event in Tokyo, recognizing his past as a professional boxer. However, his legal battle wasn't over. Prosecutors quickly appealed the decision to grant a retrial. On June 11, 2018, the Tokyo High Court overturned the decision to hold a retrial. The defense team filed a special appeal to the Supreme Court. On December 22, 2020, the Supreme Court reversed the High Court's decision and sent the case back. On March 13, 2023, the Tokyo High Court upheld the original decision to grant a retrial. Prosecutors did not file another appeal, so the decision became final. The retrial began on October 27, 2023 at the Shizuoka District Court. After 15 sessions, it concluded on May 22, 2024. The prosecution again sought the death penalty, while the defense argued he was innocent. On September 26, 2024, the Shizuoka District Court found Hakamada not guilty. When prosecutors waived their right to appeal on October 9th, the verdict became final, officially clearing his name after nearly 5 decades. He is currently the Guinness World Records holder for the longest-serving death row inmate in the world, after spending 45 years on death row. The news of Hakamada's acquittal drew significant attention. Supporters celebrated outside the courthouse, expressing their relief and joy for a man who had endured so much injustice. Hakamada, now in his 80s, spoke of his gratitude for those who fought for his release. His story not only highlights individual resilience but also raises critical questions about the justice system and the potential for wrongful convictions. In the aftermath of the ruling, local officials, including the police chief, issued public apologies for the wrongful conviction. These apologies reflect a growing acknowledgement of the flaws within the Japanese justice system. Hakamada's case has reignited debates about the death penalty in Japan, a country where capital punishment remains a controversial issue. Activists argue that Hakamada's experience is a cautionary tale about the potential for miscarriages of justice. Iwao Hakamada's story is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the ongoing fight for justice. His case has opened a dialogue not just about the death penalty in Japan, but also about the broader implications of wrongful convictions worldwide. Thank you for joining us today. If you found this story compelling, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on important legal cases and social issues.